Hey chat, how are we doing today? Honestly, this is like not a bad song to intro on. What's this called? Buccaneers? What's this called? Yeah, it's called Buccaneers. Anyway, I am woefully unprepared for this stream as per usual, but like that's to be expected from me at this point. Anyway, balls. We're doing balls today, and not of the bouncing variety for once. New week, it is time for modeling. Alright, so we are doing the catch tutorial from CG Cookie at the moment. I've only gone to like the first video on chapter 2, and that's not for lack of trying to get through all these today, but unfortunately I had to do a bunch of stuff while I was out. So I ended up getting back like half an hour before the stream started. So, let's get started. Got some Pokeball references on the other screen. Okay, can I just say, right? Like, it's only been like 6 minutes into the stream and my jimmies are already rustled. Because, like, not to be that person, but I don't think Pokeballs open that way. I think they open where the black part is actually on the bottom. Like, I get what the artist here was going for, but I don't think it opens that way. At the very least, there should be like a cover on that side, because the... Now, I'm gonna... Come on. So, like, where is an image of the Pokeball being open? Yeah, see? The black part actually splits off from the bottom instead of the top that the other one was suggesting. So yeah, that bothers me a little bit, but that's beside the point. The point of the stream is to actually make the Pokeball and not, you know, complain about others making them. Now, I'm going to do a quick smidge of research. Because we want a decent sizing for the ball, right? So we want something that can pretty easily fit in the hand, and can be tossed around. I love how one of these just straight up has a Pokeball as a part of the size comparison, and they have it compared to like an 8-ball and a tennis ball, when it actually fills the entire hand. So I'd even say it's probably... What would we call that sizing? Because where is my tape measure? I have one around... Ah, there it is. So, like, looking at an actual Pokeball, it's quite large. So I wouldn't even say that it's the size of a baseball per se. I'd say it's probably like around about the size. Do we want to say baseball, or do we want to go slightly larger than that? Possibly even the size of a softball, maybe? So, what is that, 3.8 inches? What is the size of softball? 9.7 centimeters. I'd say that's roughly about correct. So I'll do that. Now I do believe there is an add-on for this. I'll just quickly pull it up because I know this was required by the course. It's called additional objects, or is this an extension? No, it's not that. Do I have it already installed, perhaps? No, I don't. Well, I'm not going to faff about looking for it, so I'm just going to say, fuck it, we ball, and do this manually. So if I subdiv surface, and give this, say, 3 levels probably should be sufficient. Yeah, I'd say 3 levels is probably sufficient. So if we do that, now it gives me roughly the shape that I want. So I'm going to... Alright, what's the keyboard shortcut for this? Control, Alt, Shift, and S. Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's the share. So what's the 2-sphere shortcut? Shift, Alt, S. Like, I know it... No. So, Shift, Alt, S. And that's just to make sure it's actually a sphere in this case. Now, I'm probably going to add a mirror modifier to this thing. I'm going to face mode, that one as well, and delete that, and just delete the faces. So now we've got this. I'm going to... I think I'm going to mirror first before I do that, and then in the Z, yeah, okay. So before I do anything else, I'm going to make sure that this is the correct size. So I'm going to say this is... I said it was 9.7 centimeters, right? 9.7 centimeters. And of course the scale for the floor is going to be all wonky, so I'm going to 0.5 maybe? Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. We have our sphere now. Now I'm going to do a little bit of modeling on this, and what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to duplicate this and make several different styles so I can mix and match the casing of the ball. Because, first of all, I haven't done the internal video yet, and I would like to do that before I attempt it. But it will also give me, like, oh, if I want to have, like, a ball that has multiple ridges on the top, but, like, a smooth bottom. Or I could have one that has, like, say, triangle gashes in the bottom, but then this one has, like, swirls on the top. So being able to mix and match these would be quite nice. So I'll just apply the scale to this and edit mode. So I can grab these, and I can actually, I believe I can Alt S this up. Make sure I turn off something first. I believe Shift Alt S. Now that changed it to a sphere. Now what I can do is I do have this installed. So I can turn this into a circle. So now this is circular. And then I can delete these. Actually, first of all, before I delete those, I'm going to scale this in the Z. Because I want these to be even. Those scale Z, X0, and then I'm just going to probably slide this one down. Okay, that should be good. And then Shift Alt S, make sure that it's still a sphere. But it doesn't really want to do that now, does it? So I have to basically have faith that this is going to stay spherical, more or less. Which should be fine, it looks spherical enough. Yeah, I'd say that looks spherical. I don't know about you, chat. I'm going to have that on page, and now I'm going to start deleting some stuff. And delete these. So now we've got the shell of the ball. Then, oh yeah, the video itself had this be hinged. So I should probably do that, huh? So if I Alt E and probably manifold would be best here. Ah, but that leaves... Okay, no, it doesn't leave any geometry in there. So when I go to subdiv surface this... Yeah, that's going to look janky as hell, but that's fine. So the first thing I'll probably want to do is solidify. Okay, that looks good. I want to delete this. Delete those faces. And then... if I add a subdiv surface now... I think subdiv has to go above solidify. Yeah, okay. And then there should be... I know technically there's supposed to be a bevel modifier for this. Actually, it might be important for me to have this on, actually. So, bevel... Now, does bevel go above or below the subdiv? I think it goes below all this. I think that's the 3/4 here. Would applying this the solidify modifier be a good idea? Possibly. So I'm going to apply solidify. Oh right, I can't apply it in edit mode, I'm dumb. So apply solidify. Oh right, okay, no, that is correct. And then I need to hide that for a second so I can get rid of this. So there's faces here that I need to get rid of first. And leave that one as well. So delete those faces and then bring this back. And presto, we have a pokeable shell, so to speak. So now, I believe I have to set this to weight first. It's just me, or did like the... Did the solidify just not go through properly? Oh, it might be because of the fact that bevel's not active yet. So if I bevel this first before subdiving, it should be fine. Now go into edit mode. Grab these as well. Grab those ones. Now if I put the bevel weight to 1 and then turn this back on, that should do that now. So now I have to turn this down. But for whatever reason the subdiv is not... Okay, it has to be on caged. Or it actually has to show in edit mode, more specifically. Weird. Now why isn't that working as intended? Maybe the bevel has to be after subdiv? It shouldn't be. Oh, it's because it's on the vertex data and not the edge data. Oh, I am a silly goose. Actually, do I have that installed at the moment? I did say I was going to do a goose at some point. I could have a look in a second. Okay, so that doesn't quite do what I want it to. So, I wonder if the bevel has to be before... Okay, yep. The bevel has to be before the subdiv. I'm not used to hard surface modeling, as y'all can probably tell at this point. I'm gonna do 0.005. Actually, I'll do 2 for now. And I'm gonna maybe turn the bevel weight down a bit. Like maybe 0.1. So now we've got this going. I'm also going to shade almost smooth on this. There we go. Now we've got a pokeball going on. Now I just need to do something about the hinge at the back. So I'm going to turn this off at the moment. I'm going to... If I each slide this up, and then merge by distance. If I turn this off now, it should... Okay. Oh, right, I need to add a bevel modifier inside of here in order for the geometry to be more firm, so to speak. So I'm going to set the bevel weight for this quite high. I'm going to set it to like probably twice the amount. Now if I go into this mode... Ah, but now it's glitching out the sides, right? That isn't what I want to look like at all. Maybe I need to... Maybe I need to bevel both of these. Actually, I can probably just crease these, no? Ah, but if I crease them, it's going to look buggy as hell. Alright. Alright. Just adjust the bevel weight until it does what I would like it to. What about this one? Yeah, because if I bevel this one, it's just gonna have weird shading on the internal, and that's not really what I want. I wonder what I've done wrong here to cause this. So, just gonna raise that microphone up a little bit, don't mind me, chat. Turn that back to 0. Maybe if I change this back to like 0.01 perhaps. It'll give it enough of a bevel where it's not going to be intrinsically disruptive. Now there is this one here which I can just... Oh, interesting. Something weird is going on with this one. If I turn this off for a second, there's internal edges that I did not account for. And moving them about doesn't seem to do anything. If I pull these back to where they should be, and now if I bevel this, okay, that works slightly better. Alright. What if I bevel this? And I go out. It's still a bit too mushy for my taste, you know, chat? So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to undo all of this. And I'm going to move this down in the other direction. So just, No, share this. Move it like that. Fill that in. And then I'm going to move this to here. So if we G okay, now that causes some other type of bugs. No playlist, not those type of bugs. Get out of it. Okay, so like if I merge these together, it's not really gonna help all too much in this case. I just really want a crease in here, so I guess like the crease tool would be my best bet. But the problem is that causes that to become buggy. And I don't really want that. If I set the bevel up, it sort of helps, but not really. If I bevel the both of these, it sort of works, and like there is going to be a hinge there after all. I wonder if beveling this is going to have any bearing on what happens. Not really. Hard surface is much more difficult than just using sculpt tools, isn't it? So if I turn off subdiv for a second, I think I want to keep this from being merged down. So if I grab this particular set of edge loops and I set a bevel weight on it, like that's a lot sharper, and I think I appreciate that one a bit more. I think probably 0.25, and then I need to bevel this one. Probably set to around about 0.5 here. And then again with these ones, I'll just... Did I crease this one by accident? Oh my god, I creased that one by accident. So I want to set these each to be like 0.25. And then these ones as well. So now, yeah, that looks considerably better than what I had before. So like that, the latch will fit snugly into this section here. And I think it would look a lot nicer that way. The corners could use a bit of work though. And how would I go about fixing that though? Probably no way that I can, right? Like the only way would be to set the bevel of this to be basically non-existent. I probably set it to like 0.6. Yeah, and that provides it with the smoothness that I require for this particular project. Alright, so I think we've basically got the Pokeball itself down. Like, looking at that looks pretty decent. Still correct size, has its bevel, has subdiv. Mirror modifier. Okay, so like what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to remove the Z-axis and I'm going to keep this mirrored. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shift D and then RX 180. So there we go. Like it's around the medium point, but that's actually where the object origin is. So now we've got like this very basic Pokeball shape. And I'm gonna name these. So full top and full bottom. And I'm going to move these into a collection called Spears. So now we've got a spear set like of top and bottom just to edit as needed. It's got its modifiers, got everything that I would need from it. If anything, I think the solidify is probably just a little too little, so to speak. So I'm actually going to... Okay, first of all, I'm going to save this. So going to plop this into its own folder in the correct area. Not resources. Project files, selection files, cookie, and Alright, there we go. So, for catch ball, I'm actually going to grab this entire internal face structure by just grabbing these faces here. And I'm going to Alt-S to scale them inwards. But not these ones. For some reason, these ones have decided that they wanted to join in. I did not want these internal faces. Please stop. So now if I Alt-S, I can now change the scale of them. So I'm actually going to change them to be probably 0.0005. Yeah, and that gives me the density that I would like. So I'm going to do the same on the other one. So edit mode. Turn off the subdiv for a second here. And then get rid of all these. I can't Alt-Z here because if I do, I'll take out the inside ones. I kind of need those. Get rid of that. I guess I must have gotten it wrong. I guess that one must not have been in the middle. Alt-S 0.0005. There we go. Now if I turn the subdiv back on, there we go. We've got a good Pokeball going. The thickness is a lot more like what I would want out of a Pokeball shell. Alright, cool. Now we've got that going. We're gonna do what the instructor would want first, and then I'm going to go off script and just start designing random Pokeball designs. So, new collection. I didn't really want it in there, but I'll put it in now. Shell designs. I'm going to have two collections in here. I'm going to have top shells. I'm going to have bottom shells. So each of these will have its own folder. So Shift D. Let's move it in the X of Y. So if I need to RZ 90. Hello? Oh wait, wrong one. 90. Z90. And I just want to move this to be aligned with the front. Actually, I can just get rid of these ones because I can just duplicate the original ones and then just dx do 0.1 or 0.2 in this case would probably be better. 0.2 and then do top shells and bottom shells. There we go, and now we can hide this from view entirely. And then if I Alt G this, we can now edit this as we please. So obviously we're going to do the original design that I believe his name's Kaizen had in mind, which was having finger grips on the top and having a thumb grip on the bottom, which is fair. So grab probably all of these ones and probably a little bit further, and then E to extrude and Alt S to scale. So now we've got this going on. And now what's going on here? Interesting. If I... Okay, it's the subdiv that's causing that. I Alt S, probably just a little less far than that. Now if I turn the subdiv back on, yeah, that shows it as what it should be. Okay, now I believe this one, there was supposed to be a... Basically, it's just smoother at the top. Now I know he would like Control X that or whatever, but I don't ascribe to that personally. I find that Control Xing things a lot of the time tends to break stuff, at least in my case, so not the greatest fan of it personally. And then on the bottom, I'm going to edit this. And I don't know why it's not doing faces like I asked. And then, same as before, need to extrude, Alt S to scale this one. If we look at that, that's actually probably a bit too wide for my taste. I think only the two here should be a thing. Because, like, I know the thumb is wide, but it's not that wide. I wonder actually if I can do this, right? So if I get rid of these ones here, so this is going to have a different approach. Okay, it's an interesting design, but it doesn't quite fit. So I guess for the sake of this particular Pokeball, I'm going to do it the way that the instructions. Just make sure that I haven't left any. Yep, hold it. I had a distinct feeling that that was the case. I don't know why, but I did figure that I was having some leftover vertices somewhere. So that should be relatively consistent with the length of the top one. Okay. E, S. I just don't want it to be too fun, you know? Okay, now if I go ahead and let's turn this off for a moment. Just like that, merge that together. I should have a fairly reasonable ball going on. It is roughly similar to what he had, right? Just going to mute this for a quick moment. Wait for a second. Yeah, that's more or less the same. I might actually, for this... Actually, no. I think this looks fine, actually. What I do want to do, and it's just because the bottom is irritating me just a smidge, is I want to edit this so it comes together a little bit more. No, not that way, you buffoon. I want to edge slide this way. And for some reason, it wants to... Oh, is it because I'm on the wrong side? Is that why? Yeah, it is because I was on the wrong side. Okay, so now that I've edge slid that, I go back to this. Now that looks a bit more rounded and probably a bit better for this particular case. Alright, so we've got this ball now, which is just your regular Pokeball. Now I want to have a look at some other options. So like, obviously you got your traditional Pokeball. In fact, I'd even argue to say that like moved along a little bit further, you could argue that's probably a Great Ball. But with this design, I'd say probably Ultra Ball. So, I have like multiple other ones here. And I'm just noticing now that a lot of these, barring like maybe one or two, have no physical designs on them. Like, I'm looking at all of like the base designs for Pokeballs. I can see 3, 4 maybe that have actual physical designs. And that's Master, Great, Heavy, and Timer. Although, I guess Netball technically counts this case. So I'm going to see what other designs I can come up with here. I wonder if... Actually, I should probably just dissolve the shells. Okay, I'm just going to put these into the actual things here. I'm going to get rid of this, because I think the file organization would be better if I move them into their own separate collections within shell designs. So if I put in a new collection here, I'm going to go Pokeball. Or actually just Baseball. Grab these, put them in there, and I can just hide this. So, Shift D. Move these to a collection. I'm just going to put them in shell designs for now. Collection, shell designs. Alright, and I can get rid of these. Now, for this set, I'm probably going to... Maybe a heavy ball design would be more preferred here. See what I can do. Because I know, doing designs for these should be relatively easy-ish. I probably need to grab that out of it. Oh, interesting. Why is that... Now, why would that be like that? Okay, I think I might need to edit the spears for just a moment here. I'm going to get rid of these shell designs, all of them. Now, why would this... Huh? There's no... Okay, I don't know why it would do that, but okay, I guess. What a weird situation that is. I'm gonna scale that a little bit. Okay, maybe not quite that far. Probably that much. So we've got that. And then looking at it, there's like some slightly further back. So you do extrude this lot, scale that down. I'm actually gonna Alt Shift S and try to sphere that as best I can. I wonder if I can move this along normals. Yes, I can. Alright, so now we have a ball with lumps on it. I might... Do I look cut here? No. I'm actually going to grab these ones. And I'm going to loop tools circle these. Okay, that's a bit better. So now what I can probably do here is I'm actually going to loop tools this edge here. So it's a circle. And loop tools this one here into a circle as well. Okay, when Blender does that... Okay. Loop tools, circle... What the hell, Blender? Why are you doing this? I did not ask for that. So if I scale this in a bit, actually probably Alt S's. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that happened if you Alt S there. Maybe I need to scale in the top just a bit more. I know this is quite rounded, but it's not really what I want to do. I might actually have to Shift Alt S here. Because now that I think about that, it is quite round. It's like there's actual spheres attached to this, which is wild to me. Huh, now that's an idea for a design. Okay, grab these. Probably going to need to scale this in quite a fair bit in order for it to come across correctly. Probably even more than that. And then grab this lot. Grab the Z. Although the problem is now it's on global. I don't want to be on global. Distance. Why did that suddenly become... Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to ask questions. GZ. Okay, it doesn't quite have the effect that I would like it to have. Maybe I need to... Yeah. Actually, I think I prefer it like this, to be honest. Like, I know this is supposed to be spheres, but, whatever. And then this one as well, I'm probably going to have as an extrusion here too. And then scale that in a bit. Okay, it's like the same one, so I don't know why it's so much smaller. that, scale that just a smidge. There we go. It looks a little bit odd, but that's whatever, really. Now, for the bottom, maybe I want to do the exact same. It just seems a bit weird to want to have to mirror, like, this specific design. So maybe I want to duplicate this one. But mind you, all of, like, the bottoms of these balls are the exact same. Like, more or less. Like, it's usually the same smooth design. Like, the only time you'd see any type of coloring or, like, different texture on the bottom is for specific themed balls. Like, you have your Cherish, you have your Dust, you have your Quick and all that. But if you're looking at regular-ass Pokeballs, it's just flat white on the bottom. It's weird. So, I wonder if it's worth doing this one. Actually, I can probably come up with a design for the bottom. So, like, maybe have the bottom be inverted. Have it, extruded. And then Alt-S on the bottom here. And then maybe have these be... Okay, let's remove this for a second here. Have these grabbed and dragged out this way. And then merge by distance. So if I do this, I activate that now, that kind of looks cool. So, like, you've got a different design for the bottom here. I'll call this the weird ball. So move to collection, shell designs, and have this be the weird ball. Alright, so we've got this now. Shift D. And then move this to the shell designs collection. There we go. Like that again. Now for this one, I think I want to do something like a bit more futuristic. So like the idea I have for this one is maybe having lines coming off of this, like several different lines for like both sides. Like around there, around here. And have them glow. So like having an almost like a neon effect attached to it. I think that'd be quite neat. So, I think for this one, I would want to have possibly this one and this one. I don't want the internal faces, I just want the external ones. So there we go. And then E, Alt-S to scale this. Like, the only problem is that I'm contending with, like, these faces here. I'm not the greatest fan of that, but that's whatever. In fact, I could probably even remove these front faces entirely from this particular problem. Have that one be a bit closer. But then Alt-S from here. The only issue is, like, I have to contend with that too. Maybe I want to move that one higher. So have, like, this one here to this one here. And then... do you want to... okay. Cool. So E and then Alt-S. Just scale those down a bit. And unlike the other ones, I am not going to have these be like handholds. These are just going to be the neon strips inside the ball. So for this one in particular, I'm going to bevel all of these edges. So I'm going to... Alright, where is my subdiv? There it is. Control Z and like that. And then turn that back on while I change up the bevel weight. So the bevel for this one, I'm going to set to like 0.1. And then turn that off. Same for this one. Grab that. Grab that one and that there. And then set the bevel weight to 2.1. Okay, so now we've got this as a design for a ball. And again, I want to have like neon strips for this. And I'm probably going to do the same on the underside, but instead of 4, I'm going to do 3 instead. So I'm going to have like one in the middle and then like one off to the side. So do this one. Go all the way here. And I think for this one, I'm going to do possibly this one. Yeah, I think that works. And then E, Alt S. That should be good. I'll just actually scale this where I can see it directly. Now, if I grab all of these edges... No, Blender, I did not want to select the other object. Please leave me alone. Blender, what the fuck did I just say? Stop that. Good lord. I mean, like, I know Blender means well, but that's not what I wanted. And then bevel weight 0.1. And then turn the subdiv back on, and voila, we have a neon ball. Actually, hang on, isn't there like a specific Pokeball that it's from? Hang on. Isn't this just... Okay, no. I thought for a second there I had somehow inadvertently made the Pestiball from Pokemon Snap. But now that, like, it's mentioned, I do want to make that now. Oh, that's great, actually. And goodbye to that bot. I hate to be that person to, like, point out bots and that. But why is the username White Game WAP? Like, huh? Like, I know the usernames are supposed to elicit a reaction, but like, of all the things you could have chosen... Anyway, Pestiball. But like, first of all, I'm gonna move this to a new collection. I'm gonna call it... Neon Ball. I'm actually gonna remove the spaces from these, because... I don't like the fact that these are spaced out. Why did I do that? Like, the only reason I did that was because I had that as baseball. Alright, so... Shift D, move that to the Shell Designs collection. And now that I've mentioned the Pestiball, I'm going to create the Pestiball. Now, I don't know what the orientation for this thing is. I'm gonna go based off of... Where is it? I hate whenever I move it to a different screen. So I'm going to base it off this design here, which is like one line on the top, two down the side. I think would be the best. So I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to grab it all the way back here. For the exception of, well, actually, it seems like I might actually have to extrude the entire thing out, but it looks like it's an external extrusion as opposed to an internal one. Actually, no, it looks like a mix of both now I look at it correctly, because I know this is a really low quality screenshot, but you see down here how it's like indented here and then it's extruded along the sides. I think it's the same at the top now that I look at it correctly. Which is quite frankly a really mean way of going about doing this. You know, like, I know somebody made, like, a separate model. Yeah, see, it's like that for some reason. Also, that is a really cool design. Like, that's a really neat design for these. But, like, looking at it, it looks like the edge here is actually rounded. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But I'm going to do, like, a pesta ball inspired design, but I'm not going to make actual pesta ball. And then Alt S. We got that. I forgot that the pesta ball existed for a brief moment there. Because, like, I haven't played Pokemon Snap in so long that I legitimately forgot that was a thing that existed. And then that one goes there, and then like that. And then I'm going to set the bevel weight to also be 0.3 here, I think. So now we've got that one going. And then I can replicate that design to this one, but instead of doing it on the front, I have it going down the side. Now, the only issue with that specific plan is this here. Like, it's going to look a bit janky. So I think my best way of going about this is to make these absolutely massive. Or I could just have them... I could have them be like that. So I'm gonna have this, Alt S, just to scale it out a bit. Okay, that looks vaguely okay. Like, I think I would prefer it if the design was a little bit more squared off. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this. I'm just going to merge all these by distance for now. I'm going to move this so it's a bit more squared off compared to the other ones. Okay, so I'm going to GG edge slide that to... I'll start with 0.5 for now. 0.5, that one. And same with this one. So... 5, not that one though. 5. G, and then 5 for that one. Okay, grab that. And then I'll S for this one. Now if I check the design, yeah, that's a lot better. Now the only issue is like that's bulging out a bit, but that's pretty easily fixable. All I have to do is just grab these ones, edge slide in just a smidge, so like 0.15, and then these ones as well. 0.15. There we go, now that's a bit smoother. Now with these ones I can grab this. Grab these ones. I believe I also need to grab these corner edges too. Now if I set the bevel weight for this, it shouldn't affect the middle one. There we go. Now we've got a vaguely pester ball design spec here. Now I know these ones are technically indented, but I prefer the external dent for this. I think it looks just a smidge nicer. Not by much though, mind you. So, shell designs, new collection. And then I'm going to there we go, got pesky ball. Grab these, move these to a new collection and move to shell designs again. Now what do I want to do for this one? Because I know there's a lot of different designs. What's the like, I know there's a capture animations for all the different balls in that, but I don't know that the catching gauntlet has a specific Pokeball that it uses. Oh, somebody made a tier list for the Nuzlocke. Like, there's XD Gale of Darkness Nuzlocke. Okay, yeah, this is what I was thinking about, the Dark Ball. So, like, this is a thing. But I don't think this design is very useful to try and model, because there is a lot of edges to try and get working, and I don't enjoy that. I wonder if I can, okay, this is gonna be a little bit out of the ordinary, especially for a ball like this. What if I just gave a ball horns? So if like I went through this and then just scale that down, rotate it. Just what if I gave a ball horns? I'm gonna scale this. This is like a bit over the top, but to be fair, it's over top in the funniest type of way, so I'm just gonna have it be like this, I think. And this one, like, I'm just gonna grab these and oh, of course, the top edge. There you go. Now we've got an evil ball. This is so ridiculous. Why have I done this? Why did I do this to this ball thing? Like, this ball didn't ask to be created, and yet here I am just playing God. I should not be allowed access to 3D modeling software, yet here we are. Oh, I can definitely shrink and fatten these to be what I want them to be. Just make it really rounded. And I probably need to scale these in a bit just to compensate the fact they're so large now. Okay, now I've given a Pokeball horns. Now what? Why have I done this? I could, like, give it spikes on the bottom. That'd be kind of interesting. Well, I mean, the entire point of the course was to, like, customize your own ball, so... I don't think that's what they had in mind, but that's what they're getting. Alright, let's... Not like that. Maybe just rotate it a bit. Somebody's just gonna walk in on stream and just see this absolute lunatic just giving a Pokeball horns, and they're gonna be like, is this what this stream's really about? And then they're just gonna leave and hope they never see me again. But, like a certain FNAF character, I always come back. Okay, just gonna rotate this. Now the only issue is this has gone out of whack now, but that's fine. I can just move that back into position. G. Okay, there we go. No scale Z. Should I scale the base up a bit? I don't really think it's necessary in this case. In fact, I'll probably just scale these down a bit more. That one as well. Okay, I guess I have to scale these one at a time, huh? Let's do a 0.5. Okay, that's a bit too much, so scale 0.75. Okay, yep. I don't think this is necessarily the appropriate music for what I'm currently doing, but hey, if it fits. How does this look? A bit jank. This. I like that. Okay, that works a bit better. Now, what I need to do, before I do anything else, I actually need to go down to the bottom here. I'm going to make this into a sphere, and then I'm going to give it a bevel. Just to give these horns, like, a base to work with. So, loop tools, just put it in a circle. And then bevel weight. Probably like 0.2 for this one. There we go. Now this thing has horns. I think I'm going to give the bottom horns as well. Like, I'm going to give it spikes along the bottom. Now, like, when I think of this specifically, I have something vaguely in mind. For those of you who are familiar with the Pokemon series, probably know this Pokemon. So, Giratina. How it has, like, the 6 legs coming out. I'm thinking of, like, having 6 spikes come out of, like, the bottom of the ball. Sort of, like, maybe around about here. But the problem is, like, it doesn't quite work in this case. Because, like, even if I... What if I inset these individually? Come to think of it. That could possibly work. I could inset these and then, like, extrude them out. The only issue is that it would look a bit weird. I could extrude these. And then scale them. I could, actually. I could, like, these ones here specifically. So I can... I'm gonna loop tool circle each of these. And then E... extrude them out. Actually, probably Alt-E would be better in this case. No, not that one. Okay, so Alt-E and then extrude long normals. So, we've got these balls. Hey Foxy, how you doing? We're talking about Pokeballs specifically, or for legal reasons, capture capsules. Of course you would joke about the ball thing. So, let's do this. I probably need to make a loop cut on each of these. Because these need to be scaled in spheres, yeah. And then Alt-S to... Actually, no, I need to scale these individually. So what I need to do is I need to go into individual origins here. There we go. So how are you doing today, Foxy? Have you managed to recover from your birthday bender? I'm gonna grab each of these and grab... And, G, let's see. And then... really want to scale these in. My birthday what? Now, you heard me. You heard me, Foxy. Have you recovered? Yeah, make like the points on these really sharp. Probably rotate this entire face. No, I really didn't. How was recovering from your birthday bender? Maybe why? The only issue is that it seems like they just rotate in a weird direction for each of them. Like, I sort of want to have them rotated downwards. But it seems like Blender has other plans. Okay, put that down. Actually, I wonder if I give these a base first before I figure out what I'm doing with them. So, subdiv. Let's turn that off for a moment while I grab all of this. And that as well. And then just give it a H. I think for the same for the other ones, 0.2. Like, I still want this to technically be usable. I feel dumb right now. Did you say bender? My head hurty from headache, so not thinking properly. Yeah, that was exactly what I said. And from the sounds, the fact that your head is still hurting, I'd say the answer to my question is no, in fact you haven't recovered yet. Should I give this some spikes along the bottom, perhaps? No, I don't think giving them spikes along the bottom is necessary in this case. So we'll grab these, move into a new collection within shell designs, called this evil. Maybe a little too on the nose, but you know how it is. Also, Foxy, I need to send you a screenshot of this person that I banned from chat earlier, or this bot rather, because I mean, like, what is this username? Because, like, good lord, like, huh? Like, how does Twitch not ban these sorts of usernames? Have fun with that one, because I couldn't tell you. Where am I? Okay, here we go, spears. So I got like an evil Pokeball. What other designs could there be for these? Like, I know there's like the whole netball thing, which is... What in the hell? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was just like, how has this not been banned yet? Like, not even from my stream, just from Twitch in general. Like, isn't that a huge no-no? I suppose it's the beast variety, but like, I feel that's just a smidge too generic. You know? Hey Foxy, do you have any ideas as for designs I could put on my Pokeball? Because like, I've got a bunch at the moment. Like, I've got the base one that the instructor recommended. Well, I say recommended, one that the instructor's doing. And I've got my attempt at a heavy ball, which didn't go well. So now I've got this weird looking bumpy abomination. I would assume so, but clearly not. Yeah, clearly. And I've got this one, which I'm going to put neon lights into. Like neon colors. I think that would work pretty well. And then I've got the Pesky Ball, which is a play off the Pester Ball from Pokemon Snap. And then, like, the Evil Ball, which I just finished making. I might actually... Okay, I'm going to edit this design just a smidge. I'm actually going to pull these down. So the, ball is more conforming to the actual design of this. I'm just going to move that down a bit. So it's a more smoother take off. And merge by distance. And there we go. That actually kind of looks clean. Not gonna lie. And same for these ones. And merge these together by distance. No, I'm not going to even bother with this one because that's just going to be an annoyance. Okay, that looks a bit nicer. But yeah, the idea behind these, Foxy, is that like I can grab a bunch of these and like I can just mix and match the designs as I please. So it's kind of just like a modular set almost. Like I was like when I came into the stream today to do this, I wasn't intending to make modular designs, but I think this works quite well. And then when I go to do texturing, I can actually pick random colors from a table and then apply them randomly to the balls. So like I could have like a purple evil ball and then like I can duplicate and it'll suddenly be yellow. Are there like certain types of designs you're looking for? Like does it need to be unique or can it be based off of Pokemon? The only real constraint is that I have to be able to model it with the geometry that I have available to me. And I can't model stuff on the inside. And bear in mind that later on down the track, when I actually go to do like the rest of the ball, there is going to be things like hand painted designs, like stickers, scratches, that sort of stuff. So it just needs to be so I can model it within these parameters, which is a surprising amount that I can do. So like I mean, if you have a specific design, like a specific Pokemon in mind, I could try. But obviously, like, there are limitations. What other Pokeballs are there? Ah, I see, yeah. It do be like that. Oh, somebody's made their own stuff like dive balls. Those are really cool, actually. The heal ball is quite nice. Also, it's really hard to type with this massive wrap around my finger. What did you do to your finger, Foxy? What had you done? Is that goddamn fly? Hang on a second, chat. Also, volume warning from what I'm about to do. Gotcha, you little bitch. On my main chat, there was a fly, but now there is no longer a fly. Also, I hurt my wrists whenever I do that, but it's worth it because that means I don't get annoyed anymore. Actually, you know what? I am going to do the Beast Ball design. So I believe the design requires these ones specifically. I'm actually going to do these both at the same time. I may have burned it on a very hot pan while cooking shrimp in the oven. And the clown emoji is very fitting for that, huh? So the only problem that I am facing here is the fact... Oh, actually... So it's like 1, 2... And then I think the... Oh, okay, so I had it selected at this one here. So 3 from here. So that one. And then grab that. And then I can extrude these out. And Alt S. And then scale them in. Actually, no. Scaling those in won't help in this case. What I need to do is I need to Alt S these to be like fairly mild. And then I need to grab specifically the middle edge of each of these and then pull it out. Now, I know that seems like a fairly specific sequence of events to happen, but I think it's the best way to go about this. And then scale that out. Now, it could be an issue. Okay, here we go. Alt S is the way to go about this. So now I've got that. What I want to do is probably put a crease on it. And failing that, I can just put a bevel on it. Okay, so each of these I think I need to do individually. So there's the crease, but I want probably a bevel. So I'll go 0.5 for this. G and then 0.5. And then same for the bottom. G 5. Sorry, chat. 0.5. I swear, one of these days, like, somebody is gonna clip me sneezing and put it on YouTube. And then, like, I'm gonna have multiple questions asked, like, why does my sneeze sound like that? To which I respond, I couldn't tell you. I'm just built like this. So... It's like really sharp at the end. It's like what is it, like these ones here and these ones here need to be brought down. Image by distance. Now those are like that. What about a type of legend ball? Like, it's kind of similar to the Master Ball, but only difference that is it's specifically designed to catch legendaries and not just any Pokemon. Like, based off of that information, I could give it, like, quite a few different designs. I could give it a swing. So, I'm just gonna GG. Probably, like, point. Wait. What? Stop that. Splinter. So, point 4. That one. Now the only issue is like the bevel on this is really hard. I think that's okay. I probably have to like move these down. Okay, no, not like that. I might need to remove but if I remove the bevel weight off of that particular one, it's going to collapse the entire design I'm going for here. Also, I really need to, like, check my posture more often, because I find myself, like, sliding out of my seat more often than not. It's kind of silly. So I'm going to... I'm so paranoid about this. Like, if I... Hang on a second. Okay, yeah, no, that is about correct, actually. So I actually need to grab these ones on the internal. Actually, I'll be honest, chat, I'm not vibing with this design that I've currently made it as at all at the moment. Like, as is, I'm not enjoying this particular design. Okay. Not sure on design, but it'd be pretty interesting, actually, maybe if it's based off of Arceus' design, because, you know, it's the god. Yeah, I sort of get the vibe for that. I could do that, actually. Maybe. I'd have to have a few reference images of Arceus in order to be able to do it, but, like, it's not entirely impossible. Hmm. Yeah, its design's kind of munted in the chat. If I look at this, it just kind of looks like a weird version of the Beast Ball. Like, it's the design is supposed to be sharp. Like, you could argue I could do it like that, but they would just look a bit strange. Yeah, I think I might go with Fox's idea, actually. Alright, let's just... Oh, that's the spears. Okay, that might have actually been a good thing that I did that, because I didn't even realize that I was editing the spears. Move that to shell designs. Alright, let's do the less cursed version, yeah? Alright, hide that, and now I've got access to these. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the Master Ball, I just feel like there should be another type of ball that guarantees getting a legendary and isn't just a one-time use. But, like, the thing behind the Master Ball and the reason why it's like that is, like, you don't want somebody getting, like, multiple Master Balls and just taking the fun out of trying to catch Pokemon, you know? Okay, I need... I'm going to quickly check something, chat. Because I just saw something in the search, and I just want to make sure that I wasn't hallucinating. Oh, okay, that's what that is. I was just like, what is this? And then I realized that that is the name of a particular type of software that I really don't need to be talking about on stream. I'll just explain it to Foxy just briefly. Is my screen flickering? Oh my god, it is. Why is my screen flickering? There's no reason for it to be like that. Let me just finish this message. I already know that I am maybe playing with a smidge of fire doing this course actively on stream. But what I was about to say, like, in the context of what I'm currently doing, would probably get me pinged by multiple people, including Nintendo. So I'm just like, no thanks. I just find it frustrating to have constantly throw multiple balls at one legendary just to try and catch it, even if you have it down to red health. Yeah, but like, in the newer Pokemon games, you can get multiple Master Balls. You just have to know where to look. I'm going to take probably this ring here. I'm going to extrude this out. I'm going to grab this one. Now I need to be careful because if I do it like this, it gets the inside. Oh really? I haven't touched the new game, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, I think from, I believe it's not Scarlet Violet, from Sword Shield onwards, you can get multiple Pokeballs by doing, like, what is essentially... Okay, that's wrong. You've been able to get multiple Pokeball, like, multiple Master Balls since, like, I think maybe Gen 2. Through the lottery system. But in the newer games, since I believe it was Sword and Shield started this, you can craft items, basically. And one of the things on said crafting list are Master Balls at a very low chance. Alt E and normals. Now, I know this is like a really specific design to go for here, so I'm going to have to be careful when making it. So I think probably like 0.01 meters for now. And then I need to make a loop cut here, pull it out. Or actually just do this now. Because what I need to do is I actually need to remove this specific face. And then I need to... Okay, this is going to be a bit of a test. Actually, I think the better way to go about this would actually be to Shift G duplicate. And then scale... Actually, maybe Alt S? Yeah, okay. Scale on the Alt S. Now, this seems like a really strange way to go about it, but I swear it's for a good reason, and the reason is to keep the interior faces. So, E to extrude. Actually, I'll just do Alt E and along normals. So, I mean, obviously, Legend Ball would be worth a shit ton of coins, so it wouldn't totally ruin the fun on trying to catch Legendary. It would just be an option for if you can only get 1 or 2 Master Balls, if there's more than 1 Legendary in the game, of course. I mean, like, fair enough, but, like, the entire point, I personally believe, behind that entire shebang is to have some strategy when trying to catch the legendaries. And I know it's like not for everyone in this case, but if you're going to be catching multiple legendaries, you don't want to make it too easy, otherwise the balance of the game would be basically broken at that point. Like, I'm not saying that it's a good thing, I'm just saying I understand why it's like that. Okay, and then I actually want to... probably near the top, almost. This is like a really strange way to do a ball, but I'm pretty sure I can handle it. So we need to inset both of these. And we need to... actually, yeah. So inset both of these, delete them, and then I need to grab both of these. I need to bridge edge loops. I guess I have Pokemon Go on my mind while thinking about this idea. I mean, the poor rate of catching that game's unbelievable. Okay, you know what? That's valid. That is a very valid complaint. Because, good lord, some of the catch rates in that just utter dog water. And then, like, for the top one, it's more pointed. So I'm going to actually inset this and then extrude it outwards. And then scale, and probably the Y, yeah. And like, this is probably going to be a bit thinner, maybe. So, scale in the Y. Because, like, this does need to be quite thin. And then this one here, scale X. So, like, obviously it's going to have the Arceus ring around it. Like, I can't tell you how many legendary mons I have had run on me over the years, and some may have even been close to hundos, all just because of the horrible Premier Ball. Okay, like, it's absolutely comically funny to me that it's like, oh, the Premier Ball's a special Pokeball in Pokemon Go. But legitimately, in the actual games, it has a ×1 catch modifier, just like the base Pokeball. And the only reason you get it in the mainline games is because you buy 10 or more regular Pokeballs. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Niantic saw the actual catch rate for the Premier Ball and think, oh yeah, that sounds about right for catching the most powerful Pokemon in the game. And then just rolled with it. Like, that sounds like some sort of shit Niantic would do. And yes, it annoys me as much as it annoys you. I'm actually gonna extend this out, and I'm actually gonna thin this out here. Scale on the Y. Like, I want this basically to be the same size as this base one. Okay, Foxy, you happy with how this looks so far? Because, like, something else I'm going to do as well is I'm actually going to, like, make some lines that go along the ball here. The Legend Ball would be perfect with Pokemon Go. Yeah, I think, like, I know that you can get Master Balls via research. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to quickly alt this because I have a thought on this. And, like, looking based off of the design, like, you see Arceus, and there's, like, this, almost like it's a bracket coming from here and then, coming through here. So, like, the thought I have is, having these also be bracketed towards the front. So, like, have this, like, these ones here, and have them extruded outwards. Also, I need to check the subdiv on these. I just realized. Okay, the subdiv doesn't look horrible. I just need to add some bubbles. You mean research that takes months to do that only gives one master ball? Yeah, those are shit. Yeah, the I believe they're called like masterwork researchers or something along those lines. But yeah, those are the specific ones I'm talking about, unfortunately. Okay, so I need to just bring back the subdivision for a second here. $20? Yeah, like, they're egregiously expensive. I think I have, like, 2 on my own account that I've just not been able to do because I don't have the time to faff about with them. Or $15, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to strew the long normals here. And then drag these ones down. And then I want to grab this specific one and... okay, not quite what I wanted. Like, the idea was to sort of have it... I can actually probably... Okay, it just becomes a bit weird if I do it like that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. But I can grab each of these. I'm going to use the 13 snap for this. I'm going to grab them like that. And now, I'm going to... No, actually I won't just like that now. So I'm going to merge these. Okay, now that just looks a bit weird. I don't think I vibed with that quite yet. And just move that down. So grab these. So what I can do is I can actually just edge slide this one up here. But the problem is, like, obviously that one. But yeah, like, Niantic's just ridiculously greedy. I think, haven't they sold off Pokemon Go? I thought I saw something about that. Another thing, the Legend Balls can be good for the Galarian birds from the Daily Incense because, oh my god, I literally had recently, like a few weeks ago, got a Moltres on it and it ran from me after one throw, which is absolute bullshit. They literally expect you to be able to catch them on the first throw with an Ultra Ball at most. Okay, here's the thing, right? The Galarian bird catch rate is so abysmal that even with a Golden Raz Ultra Ball perfect curve, like with an excellent curve, which I have done multiple times, I have not been able to like catch a single Galarian bird like that. Like, that's not just you. The odds are just absolute dog water. Like, that's not a you problem. That's just that's literally just a problem with the way the game's designed. It's like, even if I did it like this, it's just a bit strange. So I'm actually gonna pull all of these down, I think. I think that's probably the best way to go about doing this one. Now, if I turn the subdiv back on, because like the problem is that it curves around here. It doesn't look that good. That's what I mean. Yeah, it's just like you can do everything right and they will still run away. Actually, I didn't merge these down, did I? Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, it looks a bit better, but like this crease here looks a bit jank, so I'm just going to both of these, please. Thank you. Okay, that looks a bit better. What do you think, Foxy? Is this roughly what you were looking for? I'm actually gonna probably mirror this. They could make a Legend Ball that's exclusively for Pokégo to make it easier to catch legendaries instead of making you go through the time and passes of doing raids and not be guaranteed your legendary. Yeah, it's like a bunch of bullcrap. Like, okay, this is gonna be like a really specific gripe, but I think it's valid in this case. So a few years back when I was still doing like Go, how do I explain this? So like there's like the Reddit thing, right? So I believe it's called Pokemon Go Friends or something like that. So I was doing raids for them because like New Zealander, I'm the first person to see the new raids, right? So whenever I would do specifically Giratina raids, like it would be horrendously bad to do them. Sorry, chat. Throat's a bit weird. But yeah, like Giratina O specifically, not altered form, like Giratina O specifically, so like big snaky boy. Like always would be an absolutely rancid catch rate. And I couldn't tell you why that was. Also, is the orientation of this off? Oh my god, it is. I forgot to apply the orientation phase. God damn it, body, stop trying to kill me. And that needs to be X as well, okay. I couldn't tell you why that was broken. Now, if I auto mirror along the Y, there we go. So I'm going to set this above the base mirror, and then I'm going to apply this. So I don't... Oh wait, I forgot that the catch was on the back. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I have to figure out how I'm going to do, like, this thing. At the same time as the other one. I'm actually just gonna do this manually on both sides. But yeah, like, Giratina Origin was such a bastard, and I actually genuinely lost a shiny hundo to the fact that, like, the catch rate on it was so abysmal. Like, I was absolutely pissed. I mean, like, I get that they have those two new abilities from Curum that you can use to help boost rates of catching them, but even with the ability, it's still not guaranteed to catch if you don't have a lot of balls to use. Yeah, that's the reason why I went through with doing, like, basically hosting public raids. The only reason I went through doing that was because of the fact that usually we would kill the mon within like the first 30 to 60 seconds, and that gives like a pretty high rate for balls. I believe it's like, I would like to say 9 for doing the raid that quickly, and then obviously like bonuses stacked on top. So like I would average about anywhere between 12 to 15 balls per raid. So if I do subdiv, okay, there we go. Now I just need to edit these. Need to grab these ones specifically. I hate accidentally grabbing ones in the back. Okay, I'm turning this thing off. I'm just gonna grab them here. But yeah, the catch rates for them are absolutely abysmal. In fact, the only thing I can say for Pokemon Go is, like, for it being good for, is shiny hunting. Like, not necessarily the legendaries, but just base mons. Like, the only thing that it's good for is shiny hunting base mons on community days. That's the only thing I can say that's good about it. Can I... do that, but it's not really helpful to me. Edges. I'm gonna slide this. Is 0.2 sufficient for this one? The legend ball could give like an 80% chance of catching it to keep the intensity of the catching the legend while also giving an extremely high chance of getting it. But then, like, the inherent problem with that, especially considering it's Pokemon Go, is that it's going to be monetized to all shit. Like, I could see those, like, the legend ball being probably like $50 a pop or something like that if it's going to be that high of a rate. And, like, knowing Nintendo, it would never be like that. Because if there's one thing that I can say for them, is that they very much value the integrity of catching Pokemon the old-fashioned way. Like, I think the only reason they introduced the Master Ball to the series was just because, like, they wanted to have it for things that are caught specially. But at that point, it's just like, oh yeah, we can just, like, not have that. 0.5? Like, it's one of those things that I feel like it was just introduced to the game because if they didn't, people would complain about how hard it was to catch Pokemon. I think I did 0.3 for these. And then G, 0.3. For both of these. Now if I do that, cool. Now all I have to do now is just grab all of these and just give it a bevel. And then where is my bevel modifier? Like, I don't want to give it too much of a bevel. Probably like 0.2 for this one. Yeah. And then, like, for the rest, I'm actually probably going to make it fairly sharp. Just to, no, not that one. Just to, like, really bring out the design on this. Grab those. I'm going to grab all of these edges here. And then like that. Now these all probably need to be beveled too. Grab that, all of these. And these top ones as well could probably stand with a bit of beveling. I'll just remove these from the ball. Just to make the base bevel a bit better. I also need to grab these. Okay, now I believe this would work. There we go. Probably need to bring down the strength of these just a smidge. Actually, oh no, I need to bring it up a bit. So like 0.3. Like really make that curve. See, there we go. How do you think, what do you think of this, Foxy? Do you think this is what you were hoping for? Like they don't have to guarantee the catch, just make it more easier. Yeah, that's fair. They just value money, let's be real here. Yep, but that... To be fair, I think Niantic made so much profit during 2016 that they just stuck with it. They only added the Master Ball because they knew people would be willing to throw money at them for the balls since they know they would be guaranteed a catch. Like, yeah, I guess it's the case for Pokemon Go, but like the original games, like the main lines, they only keep it really for prosperity and because people complain about how hard it was to catch Pokemon if they didn't. Now, I noticed that that's specific to that side? What? Huh? Okay, maybe I don't want to bevel these ones then. Maybe leave them bevel-less. Set that to 0. Okay, but like, if I don't have a bevel on it, it just looks janky as hell again. Like, it pulls up at the top. Yeah, I was mostly referring to Pokemon Go since we're on that topic. Yeah, fair enough. I think, what Niantic has really done wrong, that looks cool, I'm glad you like it. Like, something that I think Niantic has really screwed the pooch on, so to speak, is, like, the fact that they removed the accessibility stuff. Like, that's a huge no-no. Like, I'm talking about, like, the longer range, getting Pokestops and whatnot. Like, they really screwed up on that. And, like, I don't know why they would do it. Because, like, especially in my case, right? Because, like, as everyone knows, I've been blind in the past. And something that I felt was really important, and something that they removed was, like, the ability to do stuff from range. Because, like, they introduced that stuff during COVID, right? To prevent people from making contact with each other and, you know, just generally having safety precautions, more or less. But since they removed that, I feel like the community's really died down. And especially when they removed... Well, actually, not necessarily removed, but put a limit on how many raids you can do a day, I think has really screwed them over, like, to a massive degree. I don't know why it's doing that. Like, does this entire section still need to be beveled? Because if I bevel it, it just doesn't do what I want it to. If I bevel it that way, it just breaks to all hell. So I don't know why that's doing that. Because, like, if I bevel this, it just breaks, and I don't want it to break. What if I crease this? Creasing does nothing. It's just sharp for no reason whatsoever. And, like, considering how visible this section is, I don't want it to be like that. I could, bevel this bit here. So, put the bevel weight up on that side and then bevel this one. And, oh, Jesus, okay. It, like, sort of works, but it doesn't really. They screwed up mostly on limiting the remote raids, which is the one mechanic that brought everyone to the game since the big virus, because it helped people that didn't have a way of reaching gyms to be able to raid anywhere. Yeah, that's my point. Like, as somebody who had, like, really hard times, like, moving about, like, especially during COVID, but just in general, because, like, if I go outside and I contract something, like, I'm going to be bedridden for days, if not weeks. But since Niantic has gone and done that, they've really just made the game more inaccessible for everyone in general, not just people who are disabled. So if I set that to 0, that, like, sort of works. And then if I set this... Sorry about that, chat. My grandmother decided to come in and give me a chocolate egg. But, anyway, what was I saying? Right. like, if I contract anything, raising the price for passes was also just a dick move. Okay, that one I think was purely because of the fact of how many passes were being bought, so people just go and raid whatever. Because, like, I think in the height of me doing, Pokemon Go raids, like, especially during, I think it was, like, starter megas, like, the Gen 3 megas for the starters. Like, people were buying dozens of, yeah, but people were buying dozens of passes a day, and I don't think Niantic had intended for that to happen. So they decided to, like, put their money making on it as well and just start charging people for the amount of, like, for the fact that they were buying that many passes. Like, I understand that Nintendo probably had some presence for it just to, balance out the fact that Pokemon Go is just so busted when it comes to doing everything. Actually, hang on a second. I'm just going to check something for a moment, chat. Okay, yeah, that's inverted. Okay, Alt-N and recalculate outside. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that should fix the problem I've been having. Yeah, see, that fixes immediately now that I've done that. So if I remove face orientation now, hey look, all of a sudden it's actually working as intended. I'd be right back. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, like, people were buying so many passes on Pokemon Go that I think Nintendo had to say, look, you need to do something about this because it's breaking, like, the rest of our games. So Niantic decided to go for the, oh, we'll just charge them more for passes. And I don't think it worked out the way that they hoped it would, more or less. I think is what the entire thing was. And now that they've done that, the community is pissed off with them, and they haven't really been communicating the fact that Nintendo stepped in. Like, I know they did it under the guise of, oh, we're doing this to bring the community back together. But, like, that's not the case. Like, it's pretty blatantly obvious that that's not the case. Alright, people, these ones probably set to like 0.3 as well. Now that I've done that, that is a lot smoother than it was previously. Now my only issue is like these here probably need to be... Oh, that's actually not beveled at all. That's probably why it looks like that. So I'll just give this a 0.3 as well. There we go. Now we've got that going on. Is there anything else I add to this design to make it more look like Arceus? Hi back, welcome back. Like, there's the indentation on these, which I very well might do actually. So if I inset this, let's rotate, dipshit. Oh, what the hell? Why is that affecting the entire thing? Actually, you know what? I can probably paint it on instead of indenting it, because I feel like indenting at this point is just going to make the entire situation a little bit weirder. I might stand to scale these in a bit, though. Okay, so I believe it's Y. No. Oh, it's like wanting to scale that way, and I don't really want it to scale that way. The problem I'm going to have to do is grab all of these faces and scale them. Okay, there we go. Now that's looking more like an Arceus ball. What do you think, Foxy? Have I done this justice? You know what the funny thing is? knowing how Nintendo is with the way that they go about making stuff for their games, now that I've done this, I know this will never show up in a Pokemon game ever. And the reason I know this is because there is no flying type evolution. Because people have made so many designs for flying type evolutions that Nintendo has basically gone on to say we're never going to make this because there's just so many designs that we could very well accidentally overstep onto somebody else's like fanon design. And like we don't want to be that person. I'm just gonna scale that in a bit because like if you look at the design for it, like there's a thin bit in the middle and then it sort of bevels out towards the edges. So I'm gonna have that be like that. And that looks pretty clean. So what I can do now is I can actually just Shift D this. Bottom. And then R, Y, and then X19? Okay, it's actually 180 because I'm dumb. And there we go, we've got ourselves a Legend Ball. I actually quite like doing requests. Like, as long as it's within my skill set, like, I don't mind taking requests from people. So we'll just appropriately name this God Ball. And we go, we've got ourselves all of these designs. So we've got an evil ball, we've got a god ball, we've got a pesky ball, neon ball, just the regular ball, a weird ball. So like I can now grab these, right? And I can say, oh, I want like let's say the top for the evil ball, and then I'll put it on like the base for the neon ball. Like I can mix and match these now. Just curious, what do you think about the idea I had for the ball? You're free to explain what you would change about it. I don't mind since it was pretty much thought up out of thin air. I feel like that's the best way to make up things. Now, this is just more of a critique on my own abilities and just reading the design. But, like, whenever I'm making stuff like this, it's just like, okay, let's get rid of that and bring it back. So, like, this is just more of a critique on my own design. I would, like, the design for Arceus itself. Like, you have a really good idea, Foxy, like, don't get me wrong. It's just that, like, this, realistically, if you were using this as a Pokeball, it would be very difficult to grab and throw it around. Like, you need to understand, like, where is it? So, like, the base Pokeball, like, the entire design is to have, like, oh yeah, finger slots on the top, two on the bottom, so you can easily grip the ball. But when you're dealing with stuff like, say, the evil ball, the pesky ball most likely as well has this problem, as well as the god ball, is that there's no good way to hold on to it. Like, your fingers would be very much extended past what would be a comfortable limit. Like, it's a good idea, it's just, like, the logistics of it is a bit difficult, is all. But I think it looks really neat. I'm actually kind of proud of this one. But yeah, like the design for Arceus, the rings cut off at the top and the bottom. But I figured like a better way to go about doing a design for this. I'm actually just gonna edit this on both of these now while I'm here. Is instead of having the ring cut off be on the top like the actual Pokemon, it'd be probably more convenient in terms of ball design to grab the faces, scale them in, probably along the Y. Is like the cutoff would be better here because like that's where the ball closes and opens, you know? I'm going to scale these in as well. There we go. So now we've got that just a bit better. Honestly, that's like one hell of a Pokeball. Could you imagine this being in an actual game? Like, even a modded version of the game? Like, this would be dope as hell. Anyway, I think that's probably all the time I have to stream today. We've been going for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I will save a state here and throw up the ending screen. Hopefully tomorrow I should have more time to like go through the lessons I need to. I should be able to do like the baseball design, then I can probably start with like doing details like textures, scratches, that sort of thing. If I look at the... Oh, I don't have it pulled up anymore. I think I replaced one of the things with it, so... Grab this, pull it forward. Just need to make sure that I've got this open. So the next one's details and parts. So probably things like the catch and the buttons. Like those can be very easily modified too, I think. And then like all of this stuff can just be really easily done. Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, like next, like hopefully by tomorrow I should have like all the bases for the balls completed, so I can just swap them out whenever. And then like after that, it's just like procedural shading, hand painted details, decals, all that fun stuff. Anyway, I don't believe I have anyone to raid tonight, because like nobody that I follow streams this late. And for whatever reason, whenever I pull up the raid channel, like at the moment, it's not even like art, it's events. And all of them are like Spanish for some weird reason. Anyway, I shall see y'all in the next stream. Hopefully I'll be better prepared next